If you ain't first, you're last.
You think the FBI are the only ones on this guy?
The key to victory is anticipation.
If she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
Fear is the path to the dark side.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
You are a sad, strange little man.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Using his vast knowledge of history and politics, we start our day off right with motivational speaker Richard Battle.
Love having him on. Mr. Battle, how are you doing today, my friend?
Good morning, Al. Thank you so much for having us lead off again. Good morning.
Always a pleasure. I am so excited. You're going to talk about why Americans are AmeriCANS, not AmeriCANS, and this comes up so cool. I was having a conversation with a friend who said this is like the end of times for America. If this, whatever it was, just goes bad, it's all done. And it was about Donald Trump, to be quite frank. And I said, America's been here 250 years. I think we can survive the next three, even if you think what happens. I think we're going to be. This country wasn't founded on a bunch of wussies that just give up and we're done. And then you said this, let's talk about how great America is. I am excited about this because I think it's going to prove my point. Am I wrong? Do you honestly think there could be one person that can just blow America up, if you will? Pardon the pun.
Well, I don't think there's one person, but I think there's a concerted effort against America as a sovereign nation who want us to be like every other nation in a global country, and that we're not exceptional, and our kids can't achieve better than their parents. All of that negativism is what inspired me to look back and realize our exceptionalism because of our AmeriCAN-do spirit that our ancestors passed to us.
And anybody who wants to kickstart their ideas about this, pick up the book. It's Made in America by AmeriCANS, not AmeriCANS. And that's got to be where most of this comes from, right? I mean, this is right up your alley. This gets Richard Battle up in the morning, right? This is the thoughts that happen here. I love this book. People should pick it up. But give us an idea. When you say that, we were a strange breed, right? The originals, the founding, and not just the founding fathers, but those who came to America. This was the wild, wild west and then some, right? I mean, you got on a boat and you're floating to that new country somebody saw. You had a bit of a can-do spirit just to get here.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if we look back to the Pilgrims, the founding in Boston, we look to Virginia. They came for religious freedom because they were oppressed in England. They had to escape to Holland first. They didn't have what they wanted there. The Pilgrims came across in 1620 at 102, and that first winter, over 50 died. Half of them died the first winter. There was nothing there. And contrary to what they want you to believe today, they did interact positively with some of the Indians who helped them and helped them establish that colony there. Same thing with Jamestown, although it was a little different company. Those people came, and yes, there were some riffraff, if you'll use that technical term, in with the group. But there were people of principle and faith who came to build this country, and they're the ones that have passed these seeds down to us, and it's up to us to pass it along to the next generation.
And we always want things, especially today, quicker, sooner than later. But you talk about it. So the Pilgrims, were in 1600s, right? 1620, somewhere there?
1620s when they landed at Plymouth.
All right. So 150 years later it takes us to get kind of squared away and say, hey, we're a country. This is what we'll take and what we won't. And that's when you start with like the Boston Tea Party and the whole problem with setting this country up. These are folks who are saying, I want to do it on my own.
Well, and the Tea Party was December 16th, 1773. Okay. And that's what a lot of times it's easy to forget because our history lessons, if we get them, are compressed. Yeah. And so we think the Tea Party and then the Declaration of Independence were pretty close. They were almost 3 years apart. The Tea Party was December 16th, the night of December 16th, 1773, which is 6 days from now, which is why we wanted to highlight it. And it had evolved from what we talked about last week, the Boston Massacre in 1770, yep. And the colonists were getting more and more upset about how they had been treated. And I think there are people in the country now who are getting more and more upset about how we, the citizens, have been treated versus illegal aliens, for example, and are upset. Sure. And there are wrongs being righted today.
Well, and on that line, not only do you, again, this AmeriCANS spirit, there's one thing to be upset. It's one thing to say I don't like being, taxed too much. I don't like England and what they're doing to me. But the idea of saying, let's just start this country on our own. No more protection from the king. No more, protection from anyone. We'll just do it on our own. That's some gutsy moves from that time. You know what I'm saying? You're across the ocean for anything else. England, France, they're the ones supporting all the money to get this thing up and running. And you're like, we'll take it from here.
Well, especially since that is called treason. Yeah. And is a capital offense. And so if you get caught, there's
that little nugget. Yeah, there's that little nugget as well. Yes.
Due process back in those days was finding a new rope versus an old rope.
Again, that said, America, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it our way. That's just the way we've been for some time. And a lot of things, okay, so you get the Boston Tea Party, which comes up in 6 days, the anniversary. But there's a lot of stuff. It's just the idea of once we started, and okay, the Declaration admitted back to, we declared this thing, and all those people that signed it put their life, liberty at. But it's also the idea that we then, like Lewis and Clark, just going to go wander through the West and have nothing.
I want to interrupt and go back to the Tea Party for a minute because there were 30 to 130 people. That interests me because it was a mob. And, of course, most of the people that were there, they didn't want anybody to know they were there except their buddies who were part of the Sons of Liberty. They threw 342 chests of tea into the water. Yep. They told the people on the boats that we will not harm you. We're not here to harm you. We're just here to throw the tea in the water. Today's value of that tea would be close to $2 million. And so the courage it took for those guys, I don't want us to overlook.
Oh, there you go.
They dressed up as Mohawk Indians to disguise themselves. So it's similar to them wearing their COVID face mask, if you will.
Yeah, there you go.
So nobody would know it was them.
Oh,
so to me, those type of acts, and they escalated over time what they were doing. It didn't happen overnight. It started 1765 with a Stamp Act where they had to pay a tax on all the printed items. And so it took 1765, 11 years to 1776 for the Declaration. There was a long period of time before that.
Well, that's what it seems like. We think everything's got to happen tomorrow. This is the worst thing at all. All of this stuff, and always has in history, it takes time. It takes time to get it right and get where you want to be. Let's go to break. We'll be back after this. We'll talk more about how we became AmeriCANS, not AmeriCANS, with none other than Richard Battle on the Al Travis Show.
This season, bring the whole family to see Irving Berlin's White Christmas. This smash hit musical based on the classic film returns by popular demand to delight you at Chanhassen dinner theaters. With loads of laughter and a stunning showcase of Irving Berlin songs, White Christmas is a celebration of the romance, friendship, and magic of the holidays. Make your plans today to see White Christmas. Visit chanhassendt.com.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
you don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on The Al Travis Show.
I appreciate having him on. He's Richard Battle. He actually wrote the book on it, Made in America, by Americans, not AmeriCANS. And what we're talking about today, because the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party from 1773 is coming up here on the 16th. And what we're talking about is, today's turmoil, a lot going on, can make us forget that this is American, not American. And that's what we're talking about, is that whole attitude that we've got. What do you think drives that, sir? Is it like we say, we started from nothing? You walk over here and 100 and some people show up and 50 die the first winter. It's a tough crowd. We come from hardy stock.
Well, yes, and I think experience builds that. People were forced to do it. There was nobody to help them. And so when you accomplish something, it breeds confidence to accomplish something else. When I was a little kid, my dad would push me to do something, and I'd say, I can't do it. And he'd always retort, can't never did anything. And then push me to accomplish it. And then I'd realize I could do it the next time. And so that's what we do, is we push to accomplish. We push our kids to do that, so they build confidence as well as capabilities. As then we have people on the other hand who want to direct us into becoming more and more dependent on government and telling us we can't do things. And so the more we can do for ourselves, the better we'll be as individuals, as families, as businesses, as the American people. And that's what I want to emphasize, is that can-do spirit.
Your books, all of them, in an interesting way, highlight the individuals. This person did this, all with the American can-do spirit. In all of these movements we've talked about up so far, even Boston Tea Party, is it individuals that come up with something? Is this an overall feeling that the pack has? You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they didn't have the ability to text somebody and say, dang it, I can't believe this happened, let's go do something. It's almost an ingrown, homegrown mass thought process that went on, wasn't it? I mean, you talk about all the individuals who did this, this, and this, and I understand that, but to do the big things, the Boston Tea Parties that happened, actually Declaration of Independence, you have to get that like-mindedness together to say, nope, we can turn the tide on whatever's going on. I look at today's stuff. How do we get to a point where enough of us get together and say, this is not how we want this, we're going to turn the tide?
Well, look at the example of how the colonies came together to fight the revolution. 13 independent colonies came together, fought a revolution for 8 years, and established the country. They all had different agendas and attitudes. They were very different as well, and that's what it takes. And we see that periodically happen in the country, but it's essential that we as individuals do our parts with our kids and raise them to have that spirit for the next generation, and let them know where they came from. And we have to have immigrants assimilate so they can participate and develop that attitude as well, because that's what makes us strong, is those individual attitudes that we carry that are unique around the world.
I wonder when the tide shifted. We've had immigration since we started this country. And for as long as I can remember, up to a certain point here, we can discuss, if you came here and you're lucky enough to get in the country, you tried to assimilate, right? You tried to be, if you're the Irish, whatever, you were trying to get together. Now, not that you didn't live in pockets. We had Little Italy. Irish people kind of lived together, but you tried to assimilate with this country. But I get a real feeling now, either we're not expecting that anymore, or people don't want to do it. Instead, they want to take pieces of their homeland here and say, this is how we do it here. Let's change things. Has that changed, the idea that I will go to America because I want to be an American with that spirit?
Well, yes, and that, and then the creation and the increase of the welfare state, if you will. Okay. So we have people, multi-generations on welfare, who believe that it's their right for the people to support them. We have immigrants coming in who don't want to be Americans, but they want to take from our social safety net system. And so every time that happens, it weakens individuals, it weakens the country, versus building up strong individuals, which makes a strong country. It took everyone to found the country. It takes all of us now contributing to keep the country strong.
There's something to that. I mean, it's a unique gift that that we've got here that hasn't happened anywhere else in the world in the history of the world is this American experiment. I think we got to get back to, as people, revering that gift, saying, hey, this is us, man. This is who we are. We love this idea, and sticking up for it.
Well, your audience out there saying, well, why do you say we're unique? Because other people are telling them that they're not. And what's unique about the American experiment in self-governance is we have the combination of political freedom and economic freedom to do what we want generally, except where government's restricted us.
Yeah.
And that is what's unique. Countries have tried one or the other, but the combination that we have is so unique in history and the brilliance of our founders to create that. And the closer we are to the original founding concept, the stronger we are as individuals in a country as well.
So that gets us back to the original point, is these founders, put everything on the line, didn't take this for granted. They came up with a system of 3 checks and balances. And where we started all this, my friend, this guy's going to ruin the country. I don't think one guy can do it. I think the rest of us, if we get our poop in a scoop, if you'll pardon the expression, and get back to revering this country and say, no, this is the gift that we've got. You want to come here, you can have some of it. You got to have it the way we've got it. You know what I mean? You pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You get along. You assimilate. I think we can make this thing work. I don't see we're on our last leg, I guess.
Well, we're not on our last leg, but when we let people come into the country and live like they live in their other country and drag us down, that's what the threat is, because we don't want them to bring what they've got over there here. And why do we want to throw away what we've got to have what they're running away from?
100% agree, sir. You got to start the reading with Made America by AmeriCANS, not AmeriCANS. That's going to tell you everything you need to know about Richard Battle and what's going on in America. And then it's the individuals. That's what I love about this. Americans Who Made America, the 18th Century, Birth of the Republic, and Americans Who Made America, 19th Century, Growth, Division, Reunification. You'll find out about all those people that went before us that had the can-do spirit. I love these books. Battle, how do I get them? Because this is the holiday season. Time to get them now.
Well,
get them off the press.
The clock is ticking. So richardbattle.com, all 12 books are there. They're all signed. If you'd like something inscribed for a gift, which we love to do, email me, richard@richardbattle.com. We're happy to do that after you order. Amazon has all 12 books, including 11 in Kindle and 8 in audio.
And I don't want to give up the ending to either one of those 2 books, but it comes out pretty good for the old USA. Just throwing it out there. Don't want to give up the ending. Battle, love having you on the program. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Always my pleasure. God bless America.
Think about it. Now that school's back in session, how are Minnesota students doing?